The human brain has around 6,000 to 10,000 thoughts per day, but right now, mine has only one.
Hello you slags, and welcome back to the YouTube. Episode 2 of the journey, my road to stage, my road to bring my best physique, my road to looking like a twiglet with speedos on stage, and coming out of my comfort zone. Into this video, we're going to go through my mentality going through a bodybuilding prep, how I'm making the switch from my old habits to adopting the mentality of a bodybuilder. Let's go straight into it. Jesus Christ, it's cold. Can't believe it's been raining for like the whole of this year already. It's nuts. I'm hoping this will make the summer so much better, but it makes the shreds of my bodybuilding show so much more worth it, because my first show is the 7th of June and I'm fucking buzzing about it. I can officially say that I'm a bodybuilder and I'm in the fucking trenches, lad. Absolutely in the trenches. This isn't my first time to rodeo, it's my first time doing a bodybuilding prep, but not to the rodeo of doing a prep. I did a photo shoot 2 years ago and I've been building muscle ever since, and this has been in the works for a very, very long time. It's been in the works for such a long time because for as long as I can remember, I have been following bodybuilding, watching bodybuilding, getting invested in bodybuilding, and it's only till now where I feel like, do you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna come out my comfort zone and do this for me, because that's ultimately what it's there for. People get into things for the wrong reasons all the time, especially with bodybuilding and things like that. Like, it is expensive, and this being my first season, it's a natural, like, and I will forever be a natural, obviously, but it's expensive. So to put all that money into something, to get the reward of, I put all that hard work in, and I look fucking insane, and not ever missing a beat to get to that point, that is what I'm looking forward to the most. The bit I'm not looking forward to is standing up on stage looking like a twiglet in speedos, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So I'm currently on my way to work. I'm gonna train my first couple of clients. I've had a really quiet week this week. Loads of people on holiday, bar me. I do have a holiday halfway through prep, which I'll be vlogging for you guys. Going to Rhodes, first time in Rhodes. If you guys have got any recommendations of places to eat in Rhodes, places to go to Rhodes, excursions, I'm going with me, my missus and my housemate, who we joke around. Like, we do spend a lot of time together, so it's almost like we're a throuple. But all three of us have never been to Rhodes. So any experience, any ideas, I'm all ears, because I do love getting out and doing stuff in local town rather than just like sitting by the hotel drinking cocktails. It's fucking boring. Like, go and experience life, go and experience it. Like, I'd like to do some paragliding, I'd like to do some hiking, I'd like to do a little bit of lounging by the pool, you know, showing off the shreds. But it is only April, so it's probably going to be about 20, 25 degrees. So not enough to tan my pasty skin, but it's better than nothing, better than the UK anyway, because anything's better than here. But yeah, on my way to work, like I said, train my morning clients, and then I'll take you through a full push day, then I'll take you through a full pull day, which will be deadlifts, which I'm really looking forward to. So we're going up in weight on this today, and it's the start of prep. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes as my body weight comes down, how long it takes me to kind of drop a rep or drop weight, which shouldn't really happen. I haven't had to drop a weight ever in a prep before. And I'll also take you through an overview of how my first week on prep went, because it went swimmingly. So that's Adrian's sessions done. He absolutely smashed it, as always. He's been with me over 1.5 years, which is crazy. All of my clients have been with me, I think, off the top of my head, 1 year or more, which is incredible. I put that down to the fact that I care for my clients, like actually care. They're not just a number in the system. It's a case of, I have their number if they need any help with stuff outside of the gym, outside of seeing our time together. Even on my online clients, exactly the same. They have me up there in their pocket, essentially, that they can message me if they get stuck. If they need a bit of advice on eating out, I'm there for it. We also forecast things in the future, rather than just like, here to lose a bit of weight. We'll push you. We'll push you to your limits, push you to as far as you want to be pushed with your goals. Whether that is, okay, you want to lose a bit of weight and then do a photo shoot, or you want to lose a bit of weight and then go into a marathon. Like, we forecast it. We work around holidays, we work around social events, we work around work ramping up, we pull back if we need to. And it's ever evolving, and it's client-centric is the word that we use here at Lemon Frog, client-centric coaching. It's all evolves around what the client wants, what the client needs, and the advice that they get with that alongside that. So going to be tucking into meal 1 now before I start some content scripting for my social media. And meal one is a 6 egg white omelette with cheese, spinach, and half a bag of lettuce. And my first beveragino of the day, my black coffee. Fucking hell, I miss the white monsters. I've done, how long have I done? 3 months with no white monsters. A, because of the cost, and B, they were literally doing fuck all for me. Like, I was just drinking it for the sake of it. And I think that's from like my skateboard days where I'd like go down the skate park at 8 o'clock in the morning, skate, this is in the summer, skate for a little bit, go and get breakfast, get my first can of Monster of the day, drink that, skate, have lunch, get another can of Monster, and then I get home and I'm wondering why like I have a mouth like Gandhi's flip-flop, like so dry because I didn't drink any water. When you're skating and having fun, you just forget about drinking water, which is the downside to it. So that is not going to be my mistake going into this prep. Now, before I tuck into meal one, the first thing about this prep is it is about me. It's for me and about me, because over the years I've struggled massively with my mindset in any aspect of my life. I've struggled with it. If I think back to school, I was way behind the school. I've been brought up with handwriting is the most important thing. And I'd spend hours and hours and hours perfecting my letters to the point that I then slowed my writing and reading skills down, that when it comes to reading in class, I'd overthink it, stutter, and then I'd get like 3 lines read and it then move on to the next person because I was too slow. It's very, very embarrassing. Going into sporting scenarios, I'd always overthink, like, what about if I mess up my trampolining routine when I got to the county finals? What about if I don't land this trick in a skateboard contest when I used to compete in skateboarding? I've always overthought every negative there is, even in this job now. Like when I first started a job, I was like, what about if all my clients leave me? What about if it doesn't work out? What about if I can't sustain this as a job? So I really, really want to be a PT and an online coach. And it wasn't until I had a conversation with my now boss where we were talking about the negatives and things like that, and talking about the fact that the things I'm thinking about haven't happened yet. So why am I worrying about them? You know, if they happen, they happen, and you can learn and work around it. But if they don't happen, then you're going to look back at it and think, fucking hell, I did that. Like, I'm really glad I did that. And that's the mindset. The first thing I'm going into this is try to look forwards at the positives of like, I am coming out my comfort zone and not being too worried about if I fuck up, because I learn more from fucking up than I do about being successful. And that's the whole part of this process. And I'm really, really looking forward to taking you guys through it. Yeah, no sauce on this, by the way, because I haven't tracked any sauce for any of my meals this week. So that's not going to be great. I have a roast dinner at the end of the week and with my housemates and some friends. And I'm not too sure when I'm going to have gravy or not on it, to be honest. Like, I'm in that mindset again. Like, I don't want to, if I'm going to immerse myself in this, I'm fully into it. So I might have like some meat, some potatoes and veg, but the usual stuff I'd normally have where I'd stack my plate up to sky high like I would at Toby Carvery and almost make it like an eating contest. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that I am in control and tracking every single last bit of food that's on my plate. My girlfriend's making bacon and cabbage with some other stuff in, which is amazing, but I just can't fit that in. So I'm literally going to go for the bog standard meat, veg and potato, pretty much. And maybe a small amount of gravy if I can fit it in. And cranberry sauce or applesauce. Mostly applesauce, to be fair, because that slaps with chicken. It's banging. But anyways, let me tuck into this and then I'll take you through how I script out my content. With my content at the moment, I'm trying to experiment with different types of content to see what I mostly enjoy making. Because if I enjoy making it, I can be passionate about that, and that will showcase in content that you guys watch. So I really, really like watching more cinematic filmmaking kind of content. So this is what I'm trying to really intersperse with a lot of my vlogs, a lot of my reels on Instagram, a lot of my stuff on YouTube is a little bit more of cinematic shots, going out, getting some really cool shots in a cinematic storyline and merging that with raw, authentic kind of vlog work like I'm doing now. Other bits of content I tried recently is more kind of just talking my own thoughts. So often I'll walk to work, get my camera out and just chat about some random bollocks that I've got on my mind. It's almost like a journal entry, just so it's a little bit more like relatable to you guys, like, you know, current affairs stuff, things that I've seen in the gym, like that I go to. So I go to commercial gym, so I see a lot of weird shit, I must admit. So it's good to be able to have my opinion on that. And, you know, some of you guys might relate to that opinion, some of you may not, but that's the whole idea of this piece of content, right? Or the content world. No one's going to have the same opinions as you. And it's about finding those people that do share the same opinions and share the same thoughts, and they'll stick around for longer. So hopefully that's you. watching this. Now for my pre-workout meal, I mentioned it on my Instagram the other day, but I currently have a lighter meal before I go to my sessions at the moment. As I'm going into my prep, my last prep, I used to have like 150, 200 grams of oats before I trained. And it just didn't really sit well in my stomach after going into a heavy leg day, heavy pull day. So currently trying to do a little bit more of a lighter meal beforehand. Still some slow digesting carbohydrates with the granola, but also some dark chocolate to kind of slow down the process of digestion of those carbohydrates so the energy lasts a bit longer, so that I'm not crashing halfway through the session. Obviously got to get my black coffee in as well, and to make sure that I'm caffeinated up, because I'm going to hit a 140 deadlift today, as that's a PB of mine that I've had for a very, very long time. I did 140 years back before I really took my training seriously and my physique seriously, and the rep quality was just terrible. Taking like a minute, 2 minutes rest between each rep, out of breaths, breathing like a chain smoker, was not great, was not a pretty sight. I think I've still got the video of it somewhere. Hopefully we'll post it soon, but yeah, looking forward to putting that fuel to good use. Note to self, bring a bloody coat to the gym. I'm absolutely drenched through like no man's business, and it's horrible having to go to like the gym, put your stuff on that has been in your bag that has just been drenched, and you're fucking sapping wet. And then you finish the gym, you open the locker where your wet stuff has been, because there's no fucking coat hangers inside the lockers, not big enough for that, and it fucking stinks. It smells like a swamp. So luckily I've managed to dry my clothes out at work and have a shower and things like that. But tucking into my cream of rice. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm having a lighter meal before I train, mainly because of my digestion, but also going into the session still feeling fueled so I can push myself hard. So that 140 deadlift out fucking solid today. So I did another set and I managed to match my reps for that. So I'm very, very happy. Will I stay on that weight for next week? Probably not. I didn't quite hit the rep range. I was like 1 rep off, and it will take me a while to climb up that, and to hold that for a while whilst I'm in a deficit, probably going to be quite difficult. So I'm going to go down to 137.5 and then see how that feels, because the 135 felt really easy the week before and I matched my reps and hit the rep range. So 137.5 and then into the 140 after that, and then let's see how that goes. But only a couple of clips on training, as it's mainly about my mentality today. And I will do a training vlog later on and things like that. But one thing as well with my mentality going into this is I'm literally just focusing on one day at a time. I look at what my day is, plan my steps, plan my cardio in the week when I'm doing it, planning when I'm getting my session in, religiously look at my logbook, making sure I am beating and maintaining my numbers in my logbook. Because if I don't, I will again dwell on the outcome, dwell on the overthinking of everything. And that's where I then create that external pressure that I don't want. Like, I'm not really putting too much pressure on myself at the moment to really do well in bodybuilding. I'm literally just doing it for myself, for my own comfort zone, to prove to myself that when you put your mind to it, you can fucking do anything. And it's the same with business. I'm really trying to push my content this year as far as I can with YouTube, with Reels, and trying to find a collection of different ways that I like making it that stands out as my own true identity, personal branding, personal identity, but also my branding for my coaching and what kind of standards I coach by, which I already know, but in terms of getting that across in content and things like that. So whilst I tuck into this, I'm going to take you through a complete overview of my prep, what's going into it, my training, cardio, calories, that sort of jazz. So calories at the moment are set at 2,335. 180 grams of protein, 250 carb, and 55 grams of fats. Now that is probably not gonna stay there forever. To be over 2,000 calories to start off with is magical. And this is the benefit of going through a growth phase before you start any kind of deficit period, because you're building your calories up, hold your new weight that you've got to for a little bit, and find your new maintenance, and based off that,
then drop your calories. We've gone very, very aggressive at the start. We've gone about 700 to 800 calorie drop from where I was before. I think I was on like 3,245, something like that. So quite aggressive. Aiming to lose a kilo a week. So I'm going to pop up on the screen what I looked like at the start of the week last week and also at the end of the week as well. So this would have been Sunday, and there's a kilo difference already, and we're already starting to see some changes. More leanness coming in. Very, very small differences, don't get me wrong, but there is some changes there. Posing's looking a lot better. I've also hired a posing coach, so I'm very, very excited to document some of those sessions as well for you. Going into my prep and things like that, putting a routine together. I've got my song ready, which I'll share with you all later on. It's a secret at the moment because I may change it, we'll see. But with that being said, there is changes. More vascularity coming through, just looking like there's more shape, and the shape has been built over the last off season. Off season, I really spent a lot of time going through posterior chain work. So my current split is exactly the same as it was in my off season. That hasn't changed. Full body pull, push, full body pull, quads and tries, and then another full body pull day at the end of the week to get a bit more hamstrings in. Now, obviously, because I do train at a commercial gym, because I'm a cheapskate, this is why we've done more of a full body approach at the start and the end of the week, so that I can get a bit more hamstring work in through hinge work, through lying hamstring curl work, and really maximize that as much as possible and focusing on intention with everything that I'm doing in my training. Pausing, tempos, intensity, and just the purpose of actually training. You know, what am I purposely trying to get out of this exercise? Is it to fill my rectors in a deadlift? Probably not. Really trying to target my hamstrings. So I'm trying to push through my hips, squeeze my glutes, and really stretch those hamstrings on the way down as well. Cardio is set at 90 minutes per day at the moment. Cardio is set at 90 minutes for the week. So on my rest days, I'll plan in 30 minutes. Some days I might do more, some days I might do less, depends on what I have on my rest days. So as today is a training day, I will not be doing cardio. I try to keep it as separate as possible for as long as I can until I have to start doing cardio every single day, which will probably at the back end of prep, more towards my second show of the season. Steps are at 13K, but I averaged about 15 last week. So I will be holding it at 15 for an average. This is the important thing to remember as well. When you're going into preps like this, averages are godsend. You know, you could dwell on hitting 13, 15K every single day and stress about it. As long as that average is 15, that's fine. But also, there's no harm in stressing about getting those steps in, ticking every box, right? That's my mentality at the moment as well, is in the sense of, I don't want to get to show day and think I could have done more. So I want to make sure that I am doing the most every single day, focusing on one day at a time. What do I need to get done today? Steps, what am I on at the moment? 10K. So I've only got another 5 to go, which I'll get up and down the gym when I'm training clients later. That's the sort of thing you need to be focusing on in a prep, in a fat loss phase, is doing the most that you can on the day and just focusing on every single day that goes by. One thing that did change last week was that my sleep was pretty bad. Although I got 7.5 hours average for the week, my quality of sleep was pretty dire. And the strange thing is, I've been taking magnesium for the full week. Magnesium glycinate, it's a little bit more bioavailable than citrate. It's a little bit more bioavailable than citrate, but magnesium citrate, which is more of like a laxative. So it should have essentially helped me improve my sleep quality. But once I've been taking it, one thing I noticed is, although I was getting 7 hours, I was literally, I didn't even feel like I was getting to sleep. Like I had such a shallow sleep the whole night. So on Saturday, Sunday, I took magnesium completely out. And what happened was my sleep improved. I did have eyes like ball bags. Honestly, my eyelids were so dry, really, really baggy because of the lack of sleep I had, or the quality that I had. So taking magnesium out at the moment after the first week, that's what's happening. But so far, first week of prep has gone fantastically. It couldn't have gone any better. This week, again, we're trying to lose another kilo. So the reason why we have gone aggressive with these calories is mainly for that. Get all the hard work done first. And then when it comes towards the back end of prep, when I'm flagging, when my legs are feeling heavy, when I'm low in energy, that's where I can then maybe start bringing my food up a little bit, doing a little bit less steps, a little bit less cardio, so I'm not going into the show inflamed and ruining the stage look that I'm going for, okay? I will be entering men's classic physique, so natural, and I'm really looking forward to displaying everything and learning the pose is a whole new kettle of fish. Like when I did my first posing session, although I've got a basic background in posing, my posing coach was like putting me through my paces. It's fucking tough work, tough work. 3 rounds of that, holding poses for like 30 seconds. Then he goes, all right, we're gonna hold it for another 30. I've already been fucking holding it for 30 seconds. Jesus Christ. But it puts you into perspective. Like when you're on stage, sometimes you might have to do like 3, 4, 5 rounds of posing in one go, which will not be fun and I'll be out of breath, but it's also counting towards my cardio or energy expenditure for the day as well. So when I get towards the back end of prep, I probably will be burning quite a considerable amount of calories with posing, especially as my energy gets lower, because I'm forcing my body to do more and more movement. So I can count that towards my daily expenditure. So that's gonna help with my step target not being so high and that sort of jazz. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to taking you guys through the full process. I'm gonna tuck into my post-workout, train my evening clients, and then I'll take you through the final bit of preparation. And that's a wrap on today's sessions. Absolutely knackered, but a thoroughly good day. The JJ's, the James tying off the day. First James working on his pull-ups on said bar behind me. We've been on this pull-up bar for like a couple of programs now, but he's getting the strength there. We're working on his wrist wraps. So the weakest link in a pull-up is your grip. So if you're wanting to get stronger at pull-ups, use wrist wraps. If you're not worried about grip strength and you also want to train that at the same time, then don't use wrist wraps. But we're wanting to improve his strength at pulling. So we're doing it with wrist wraps to take the grip out of the equation. And the second James is just working on building his strength up on his deadlifts and building it up over time, working on a technique. For him, he has flat feet, which makes foot pressure quite easy for him, which in a deadlift is really, really important. But he has a tendency to have his penguin feet turned out and very, very close together. So when you're standing hip width, a quick tip with standing hip width, put your feet close together, jump up in the air, and wherever they land tends to be where your hip width is. That is the perfect position for an RDL, okay? That's what you should go into most sessions is feet nice and straight, pressure on the inside of your foot, hip width apart, hinging at the hips, squeezing your glutes through and driving through and engaging those hamstrings and glutes. And that's how you build a bigger posterior chain, as you found out in my 140 kilo deadlifts, which I'm not gonna let you forget because that's a PB for me. But I hope you have enjoyed today's video, episode 2 of the journey, my mentality going into my prep, which is scary to think that it's 16 weeks away, which is nuts. And it will come round really, really quick because time flies when you're having fun. But I am literally just taking it one day at a time. No shortcuts, no rushing, no overcomplicating the process. One day at a time and being consistent with ticking those boxes and trying not to overthink things. Focus on the basics, do them well enough for long enough, and you'll get the results that you want. And that's what I'm hoping to do when I'm stepping on stage in 16 weeks' time. If you've enjoyed today's episode of The Journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button because episodes 3 coming, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you.